Slugs are a real problem in Northwest gardens, and if you garden, you probably know that. This is a clump of daylilies that I was dividing, and unfortunately I had not put any bait down. You can see the damage that the slugs have done to this plant. For me, the choice that I use in my own garden is Corey's Meal. I like it, and always read and follow label directions, but you just want to put it lightly around the plants on damp soil. So evening is an ideal time. If you prefer not to use meal, there are pellets, and there's also Corey's Deadline. Look for the meta label on all Corey's products.
Moen Machinery prides itself on its history and their 60 years of doing business and serving the community. They welcome the opportunity to earn your business and provide the Moen Machinery tradition of excellence. Kubota tractors are designed for those who demand more power, more versatility, more value. Whether you work in the backyard or the back 40, there's a Kubota tractor that's just right for you. The staff in Moen Machinery has years of skilled experience. Let their experts put you behind the wheel of a new Kubota tractor today. Moen Machinery, from the farm to the garden, your first stop for quality equipment.
In the Garden with Mike Darcy is brought to you in part by Moen Machinery, Meta, the active ingredient in Corey's and Deadline, Black Gold, and Marquee, your casual living store. A couple weeks ago in my garden I showed you this acacia, and it was not in bloom then, and I just wanted to show it now because it's just coming out into full bloom right now, and you can see this. It's really spectacular tree. Once again, I love the way it sort of arches. The branches tend to have that natural habit. I like the leaves, the texture of them, the shape of them. And at night, we have a spotlight on this, and at night it just looks wonderful with the light coming up and these huge yellow flowers. This is Acacia brevisima. It's a great plant, and in my garden, as I mentioned, this was out here all winter long with no protection and seemed to come through just fine. A plant I picked up at Dancing Oaks is one I just wanted to show here real quick. It's an erysima. I just love the flower on this. It's spectacular whether you look at it from this way or even from behind. It's very pretty. And this is really a nice woodland plant that would bloom this time of year. Very easy to grow, and they will really naturalize in a woodland garden. So a couple things right here in my own garden. And now I want to show you something that we have that's a little bit unusual plant spilling over the wall coming down to our house. This is a plant I just wanted to mention. This is a peony. It's a gorgeous peony. It's called Molly the Witch. It's a rather unusual one. We'll show it when it comes into bloom, but I just love the way this is coming up here with these thick stalks. And if you wonder why I have these stakes around here, that's just so Cody the garden dog doesn't walk through that. And then on our driveway, sort of spilling down right here, is this Distillium. And this is a really nice plant. It was new to me a couple years ago when I actually got it, and I put it on the back side of the wall, and now you can see it's all spilling over. And right now it's in really full bloom with all these little red clusters of flowers right here. The foliage on it is nice year-round. It is evergreen, and you can see some of the new growth that's coming out right here. It's a little bit different color, but I like the fact that it's just sort of grown here and now spilled over the wall. And actually, I'm probably even going to have to cut a little bit because I don't want it to get too big. So there's a couple of plants that I think are really looking good right now in my garden. And now I wanted to show you a project I did this last weekend. My project this past weekend was to put something up at the top of our drive. And I got this really large pot. I love the pot, the color of the pot. And just a tip here, when you have large pots like this, you don't always have to fill them clear full of potting soil. In fact, in this one, we had some old clay pots that had broken, and we just had a pile of them at the back. And I'm going to say that maybe from here down, I just threw in all those pieces from the pots that were broken from years past. It helps for the drainage, helps keep things from clogging up down there, and you don't have to throw in so much potting soil. The plant I put in here is one that I've really not seen in containers, I don't think, very often, maybe never. It's a climbing hydrangea. The area that we have in here is shady. We've got a hawthorn tree growing up over it, but this is a great plant. I love the way it's looking right now because it's sort of spilling out like this. And the stems on it are very pretty, so I think even in the wintertime when it doesn't have foliage, it's still going to look nice because you get these red stems on it. So once again, it's a climbing hydrangea. Probably I'm going to have to do some trimming now and then just to sort of keep it looking open and airy like it is right now, but we'll visit this later on in the season and see how it's doing. But it's just a climbing hydrangea in a very large pot. So that was my weekend project.